Let me tell you something that should make every single one of you furious right now. Paul Heyman, the same man who stood shoulder to shoulder with Roman Reigns for over 4 years, the same man who helped build the greatest reign in WWE history, the same man Roman Reigns called his special counsel, his wise man, the person he trusted more than anyone in that locker room, that same Paul Heyman has been pulling strings behind a mask. Behind a black hoodie. In the dark. Like a coward. And the worst part, we should have seen this coming from a mile away. Because while everybody was pointing fingers at Seth Rollins, at Logan Paul, at Adam Pearce, Paul Heyman was sitting back in that leather chair, smiling that sinister smile, watching all of us like puppets on a string. He knew. He always knew. And now that the mask has come off, now that Austin Theory has been revealed as the Oracle's mystery weapon, the question that is burning through this entire WWE universe is one that nobody has a clean answer to. Has Roman Reigns, the original tribal chief, reconciled with the man who betrayed him? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Yes or no? Because before this video is over, I'm going to show you why the evidence points in a direction that will absolutely break your brain. But before we go any further, if you are new to this channel, welcome to Ring Rumble 1, the only place on YouTube where we break down WWE's biggest stories with the fire and intensity they deserve. Hit that subscribe button right now and smash that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown, a rumor, or a revelation. We drop content regularly and our community never sleeps on what's happening in that ring. Tap subscribe, tap that bell, all notifications, and let's get into it. Open book main content, setting the scene 110 to 330. To understand what is happening right now between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, you have to go back to where this all started to fall apart, WrestleMania 41. For over 4 years, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were the most dominant pairing in WWE history. 1,316 days as undisputed WWE champion. Heyman didn't just manage Roman. He made Roman into the version of himself that the whole world feared. He gave the tribal chief an aura, a presence, a philosophy. Every promo, every entrance, every subtle manipulation of the locker room, Heyman's fingerprints were all over it. Then WrestleMania 40 happened. Roman got distracted by Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes cashed in that moment. And just like that, the title reign was over. Roman disappeared. And Heyman stayed. He stayed with Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline while Roman was gone. He claimed he had no choice. He claimed Roman had abandoned him. But here is the truth, Heyman is never without a choice. He always chooses power. Fast forward to WrestleMania 41. Roman comes back. CM Punk is involved. The stage is set for the biggest night of the year. And Paul Heyman, the man who said he was loyal to his tribal chief above all others, shoved Roman Reigns to the canvas. In front of the world. And aligned himself with Seth Rollins. He called it loyalty to a promise. The WWE Universe called it what it was, the ultimate betrayal. Now Heyman is leading the Vision, a faction that has turned Raw into a war zone. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, all operating under the calculating eye of the Oracle. And for weeks leading up to this revelation, a masked attacker in a black hoodie had been terrorizing WWE's biggest names. It started at the Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker, one of the hottest stars on Raw, was attacked during his very entrance. Before he even got to the ring, the masked man put him down with a stomp that looked eerily familiar to Seth Rollins' curb stomp. The entire WWE universe went crazy with theories. Was it Rollins himself faking his injury? Was it Logan Paul? And here he was, revealed as Heyman's secret weapon inside the Vision. The man who had been attacking people for months was Theory all along, and Heyman had been covering his tracks with the precision of a chess grandmaster. Think about what this means for a second. Heyman recruited Theory. Heyman deployed Theory. Heyman had Theory attacking Vision members like Breaker to create confusion, making it look like an outside enemy, while keeping Theory's allegiance hidden in plain sight. This is the kind of long con manipulation that Heyman has been pulling off his entire career. This was not chaos. This was a masterplan. And right in the middle of all of this, Roman Reigns is watching. And the tribal chief, he is not sitting still. When Roman Reigns returned to Raw and came face to face with Paul Heyman, the temperature in that building changed immediately. This was not just a promo. This was not just television. This was two men who genuinely reshaped each other's careers, standing across from each other in what felt like the ruins of something that was once the most powerful partnership in WWE history. Heyman, in his usual brilliant fashion, tried to reframe the entire betrayal. He told Roman, he told the world, that he never abandoned his tribal chief. He blamed CM Punk for putting him in an impossible position. He blamed Roman for leaving after WrestleMania 40 and abandoning him to Solo Sikoa's new bloodline. He even brought up that while Roman was gone, Sikoa's crew put Heyman through a table, nearly ending his career, and Roman never came back to avenge him. And here is where it gets complicated. Because Heyman is not entirely wrong. When Roman vanished, Heyman was left vulnerable. And Heyman, being Heyman, survived the only way he knows how. By attaching himself to the next source of power. That is his nature. That is who he is. But Roman Reigns is not a man who accepts excuses. The tribal chief stood in that ring and set Paul Heyman straight. He made it crystal clear, there is no justification for what happened at WrestleMania 41. You do not shove the head of the table to the canvas. Period. End of discussion. And yet, and this is what is driving this entire internet crazy, Roman did not destroy him. Roman did not attack him. Roman confronted him, warned him, and walked away. Why? Why would the most dominant force in WWE show that level of restraint toward the man who humiliated him on the grandest stage of them all? That is not the Roman Reigns who acknowledged the entire roster into submission. That is a man who still has a complicated relationship with Paul Heyman. That is a man who, somewhere underneath all that pride and that ulafala, is not yet ready to completely cut the cord. Now here is where I need you to lean in, because this is the part of the story that the mainstream wrestling media is dancing around but not fully saying out loud. Everything that is happening right now on Raw has a familiar smell to it. The calculated manipulation. The mystery attacker designed to create chaos for Heyman's enemies. The way Roman Reigns keeps intersecting with the Vision's storyline without fully committing to a feud. My name is Paul Heyman and I am the special counsel to the tribal chief. That is Heyman's Mount Rushmore moment. And he wants it back. Now think about it from Roman's perspective. The tribal chief is dealing with the Vision, a powerful faction that has Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory all aligned under one banner. Roman is not running from that fight, but he is smart enough to know that going at the Vision alone is a war of attrition he may not win cleanly. The man who knows the Vision's leader better than anyone else on the planet is Paul Heyman. Because Heyman built Seth Rollins' path to this moment. Heyman knows every weakness, every trigger, every move Rollins will make before Rollins makes it. If Roman Reigns wants to dismantle the Vision from the inside, who better to have in his corner than the Oracle himself? The pieces are moving on the board, people. And that confrontation on Raw where Roman walked away without throwing a single punch is beginning to look less like restraint and more like the beginning of a negotiation. Here is the bottom line. Paul Heyman unmasking Austin Theory as the mystery attacker is not just a storyline twist, it is a declaration. A declaration that Heyman is the most dangerous mind in professional wrestling and that he has been operating several moves ahead of everyone this entire time. But the bigger story, the story that will define Raw for the rest of this year, is whether Roman Reigns allows himself to sit across from that man, look him in the eye, and say, I acknowledge you. Because Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together were not just a faction. They were a force of nature. And if Triple H and WWE Creative are building toward what I think they are building toward, a reconciliation between the tribal chief and the wise man, then we are about to witness one of the greatest redemption arcs in the history of this business. Or, and this is the other side of the coin, Roman has been stringing Heyman along this entire time, waiting for the perfect moment to make Heyman pay for WrestleMania 41 in the most devastating way possible. And if that is the plan, then the explosion when it happens will tear the roof off every arena on the planet. Either way, Roman Reigns versus Paul Heyman, whether as allies or as enemies, is the most fascinating story WWE has told in years. And it is only getting started. That is it for today's breakdown right here on Ring Rumble 1. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are heading toward a reconciliation, or is Roman setting a trap? Sound off in the comments, I am reading every single one of them. If you got value from this video, hit that thumbs up, it helps this channel more than you know. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this conversation needs to be had. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right now so you never miss a Ring Rumble 1 breakdown. I'll see you in the next one. Acknowledge that.